Well, hello and good day. I see you back there, you little pauper weasel. I see that you're in the mood for some trickery, perhaps even some tomfoolery. Well, I've got just the deck for you if you're into tomfoolery and trickery and sneakery. This is mono blue fairies with a side of ninjas. If you like what I'm cooking up, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. But onto the deck. We're staying monocolor, keeping it simple these days, and we're going to be playing a lot of little fairy friends, fly over opponent. We want to try to ninjutsu in our ninjas, get a source of card draw going, and then just keep disrupting our opponent's game plan with counter spells, spell pierce, spell stutter sprite. We've got a few things to deal with annoying creatures like Bind the Monster, Unable to Scream. Harrier Strix is a newer addition to the deck in the past few months. So we get to play an owl on top of fairies and ninjas. That's pretty sweet, especially for my Guardians of Ga'Hoole fans out there. Harrier Strix lets us tap down opponents' cards and also is a source of looting if we end up on one of those hands where we're just not drawing what we want to draw. Finally, Of One Mind is a nice payoff once you get one of your human cards out, like our ninjas and the Brine Barrow Intruder, and any one of our fairies or owls. This can let us draw 2 cards for cheap. So we just want to keep generating card advantage, disrupting our opponent's game plan, and keep poking in until we win and our opponent cries. So we're going to get started. Sideboard, nothing too crazy. We've got more artifact, enchantment specific counter spells for some matchups. If we run into red, we've got a whole suite of Hydro Blasts, blue Elemental Blasts, and we've got a few other tricks to deal with key creatures. But let's get started. Round 1. Wish me luck. Well, it's nice to be back on fairies. When I first moved to the area I live in now, which is like the Washington, D.C. area, I started going to Pauper tournaments to meet people, to meet friends, and Blue Fairies was the first deck that I made. It was pretty popular at the time, and then it kind of fell out of favor. So I'm glad it's back in the post-Brood Scale meta, and glad we're getting to play it on video here. We're gonna keep Of One Mind. That said, I am a little rusty on this deck, so we'll see how it goes. Turn 1, we have a nice start with Fairy Seer into a Ninja of the Deep Hours, unopposed here. So we're gonna take that chance while we can. Then we're gonna start holding up counter spells and drawing cards. Oh yeah, it's ninja time. Yes, I would love to draw a card. Ninja of the Deep Hours is a consent king, by the way. He asks if you want to draw cards. We usually say yes to him. Okay, Spell Bomb. Not too worried about that. Hunter's Blowgun. So this is like an affinity deck. If they get a Clark Clan Shaman, they're going to nuke all of our ninjas, but looks like we're going to get another card draw out of it, and maybe we can focus on countering a fellow like that. Let's get in for 2. We could have scryed first. I guess probably that was correct. Gotta get my head in the game. Either way, we're drawing a card. Island, okay, happy to hit a land drop. And we're going to scry. Harrier Strix. We definitely want to keep the Spell Stutter Sprite. Harrier Strix, I don't know. Harrier Strix could be good if they find one of their big affinity dudes. Refurbished Familiar. It's definitely like a dummy spell, huh? Feeling like Snap is not quite as good here. Ooh, 2 familiars. Okay. Well, we're going to counter this. They might go into Kark Clan Shaman, though. They might go land Kark Clan Shaman. No, they don't. They don't have a land. Interesting. Let's crack off a Of One Mind. Bind the monster. Pretty good. That's exactly what we wanted to find. I think I should have kept the Snap. Need to assess my threats. But we have the ability to counter a 2-drop, which is pretty limited against Affinity in some cases, but we're doing well. Opponent's down to 13. We're drawing cards every turn. They missed a land drop. They are possibly missing a color if they have red. I'm assuming they have red. This might be like a Crypt Rats inclusion if it's blue-black. Seems like there's a lot of little variants of Affinity floating around. Double Refurbished Familiar is pretty good. Opponent has no follow-up? Question mark? Mirror Enforcer, we cannot stop. But that's okay. We don't want to bind the monster on that anyway. We're going to save our Spell Stutters. Moon Circuit Hacker is nice. Just going to draw 2 cards right now. Another Moon Circuit Hacker. We're going to get in with our little flying friend. Opponent can't block. We ninjutsu. Draw another card. Opponent's creatures are a little beefy. It's a little hard to get through, but we're drawing so many cards compared to them. Feels like we're in a good position as long as we can keep up the pressure. Then we're going to play Fairy Seer, so we have Spell Stutter on 2. Scry to the bottom, scry to the bottom. If we could find some, like, Unable to Scream, that would be cool. Opponent's going to just go drawing cards. We don't really care about our graveyard for once. Oh, what a relief to play a deck where we don't have to care about our graveyard. Nile Spellbomb's no longer a heart attack. If you watch any of my other videos, you can see that I'm quite a graveyard fiend. Opponent not attacking, not drawing their lands. They're in a tough spot. Fairy Miscreant. Do I want to just keep the pressure on and attack with everyone? Maybe. We'll lose a ninja though, but we'll draw an extra card. Maybe we just play it patiently. If they draw certain cards, we just lose everything. I guess we want that. We wanted that snap to protect our stuff potentially. I suppose I should be scrying first. Okay. It's okay. This is a warm-up game. Fanatical Offering. Yeah, we should have definitely played our Fairy pre-combat. We could have countered that. But it's okay. We're saving our counter spells. Yep. Opponent's getting to draw a lot of cards. Okay. Bottom, top. We'll draw the Harrier Strix. What's more valuable, to be able to cast a Spell Stutter on 2 and 3, or to be able to cast one spell stutter on 3, but develop more fairies. Just gonna hold up counterspell plus spell stutter. See what they do. They need to be proactive here. I'm assuming whatever they cast first is a little bit of a dummy spell. Yeah, Ichor Wellspring I don't really care about. We'd rather cast what they draw at this point. Maybe they're just blue-black. Aha! Speak of the devil. So maybe they're looking to Quark Clan Shaman plus Hunter's Blowgun. That's definitely what we want to counter. Well, this is the exact situation where Harrier Strix shines. So all of my Guardians of Ga'Hoole fans, put an owl in the chat. Owl emoji. Tap that. Notable, you can also tap their lands down, which can be useful. Something I got to get used to. Reckoner's Bargain on Ichor Wellspring. I think we just spell stutter that because we got so many counters. They only draw one card. We tap their guy. We draw a lot of cards. And if they don't make us counter anything, we can also use the Harrier Strix ability to filter. Making sure I draw off of the ninja first because I don't have to discard. And then we draw off the other two. We'll discard an island. This guy. We'll discard an island. Keep the action. Keep our counter spells up. Blood Fountain. A little annoying. They can get back some creatures, but we don't really care about that. Makeshift Munitions. Surely we have to counter that. I guess if we had attacked with our ninjas earlier, maybe we would have won a turn earlier. Okay, that was pretty good. We get to bring in a null, so we have cheaper counter answers. We don't care about Dispel. Bind the Monster, I'm glad we drew it when we did, but it deals a lot of damage to us. Their creatures are pretty expensive. Where is my Bind the Monster? Take that out. I don't think we care about Dispel or Hydroblast. Spell Stutter's a little weaker, but we'll still keep it in. Some of their key spells are counterable by Spell Stutter. I guess Snap is bad. Snap can sometimes help us, but it's a little bit... It's not very useful snapping most of their creatures. Sometimes you can, snap your own stuff and do something tricky, but I think we'll try it like that. We've got the full set of annuls in to up our counterspell game. Annul also hits Makeshift Munitions. Spell Pierce seems decent. This hand's interesting. We're on the draw. So opponent gets a tap land, okay. What would they play turn 1 that we care about? Quark Clan Shaman, Spell Pierce doesn't hit that anyway. I'm going to Fairy Seer. Turn 2, we can hold up Spell Pierce plus Brine Barrow into Of One Mind or Counterspell. It seems like a better situation as long as opponent doesn't go crazy this turn. We're going to get rid of a Fairy Seer. We'll keep the other Spell Stutter. Alright, do your worst, opponent. Because the walls are coming up soon. I got all red this time. Okay, Hunter's Blowgun. Quark Clan Shaman. Okay, Refurbished Familiar. To that, we will discard an island so as to not disrupt our plan. But we need to find more islands off this Of One Mind, hopefully. And we're not going to attack through the Refurbished Familiar. We need to get this of one mind off. We have Spell Stutter on 2, we have Counterspell, or we can do Spell Pierce plus Brine Barrow. Let's see what they got. They played their land. So 1-drop is counterable here. Anything 2-drop that's non-creature, we can Spell Pierce. If we had a 3rd land, Brine Bear on their turn is a good option, but I think I want to make sure I can of one mind to hit a land. Maybe I should have just attacked, used Brine Barrow, and then held up Spell Pierce, but seems like it could open us up to something else. We need that land though. What do they got? Red Elemental Blast. Okay, so maybe a consideration to bring in our Pyroblasts and Hydroblasts. Bummer. That's kind of a blowout since we don't have a land. In hindsight, I guess I should have discarded Spell Pierce maybe? I can use the Spell Pierce. It might slow them down, but I guess I'd rather save it. Just gonna start attacking then. Trade. Okay. Well, we've got Spell Pierce up. It's gonna get bad pretty fast, so we better use it on something. Maybe now we discard Spell Pierce, sadly. This is a position we don't want to be in with this deck. Yeah, Blood Fountain. Hunter's Blowgun. Death Touch during their turn. And Reach during our turn. Okay. I guess that kind of doesn't do that much. Alright, well we have Counterspell and Spell Stutter on 1. We need to secure a source of card draw though. Losing of one mind to Red Elemental Blast is kind of a bummer. Do I need to bring in the blue Elemental Blasts? Maybe a couple. Opponent doesn't have a lot of action though. They're doing this on our turn. It's fine. We hit our land drop, perfect. Okay, things are not looking so bad. We can counter, they're down to 1 card per turn. We can counter whatever they do. Thoughtcast was a good draw. We have to counter that. They can Blood Fountain back their Refurbished Familiar, which is going to suck next turn. Moon Circuit Hacker. Do they use the Blood Fountain? They don't. Okay. They can still get it back if they want. Unable to scream. That's not very good, huh? It's just a 1/3, which we can't attack through. Awkward. Yeah, unable to scream. Bind the monster is much better. but Unable to Scream doesn't do damage to us, so with a lot of these Affinity decks, the Serpent decks, the Terror decks, it's a little harder to... we take a big hit if we use Bind the Monster. A Strix wouldn't be bad. Fairy Miscreant, not bad. Now our Spell Stutter Sprite has a little more reach, but awkward game. If we, yeah, that of one mind getting countered really slowed us down. Luckily our opponent, luckily we were able to slow our opponent down at some key moments. They're hitting a lot of land drops though, I'm kind of scared. They probably outgrind us pretty soon. Unless we can start drawing cards. A lot of nothing going on right now. So let's make something happen. Any second now. Opponent's thinking. What are they thinking about? They can always use the Blood Fountain on the Refurbished Familiar. I guess they don't mind losing this because then they can Blood Fountain and then double Refurbished Familiar, which is terrifying. It's going to draw them some cards for sure. It's not easy for us to counter. Annul is decent. At least Unable to Scream removed the reach, so our Miscreant can potentially get through. Ugh. Red Elemental Blast. I think we have to fight over this. We can still hold Annul up. At least we got rid of a Red Elemental Blast. Then we can ninjutsu. They might not be expecting Annul on 1 mana necessarily. They might be thinking it's a Spell Pierce or something. Spell Pierce, obviously garbage right now. Maybe worth siding out for some of the Hydro Blasts. Yes. Another Consent King. Okay, Harrier Strix. Harrier Strix is good. We're going to leave up Annul. Getting their Refurbished Familiar back. So they've used their Blood Fountain for half value, which we can attempt to annul. Yep. And then what's their... Okay, now they're going to be drawing cards. We are shielded down. Yep, there's an Enforcer. Okay. Interesting. Brine Barrow kind of sucks here. Yeah, this Unable to Scream is kind of annoying with the blowgun. We have no counter spells. We can always tap Mere Enforcer. But then, even with the Brine Barrow, we can't kill this guy, so he blocks here, and we're just using Brine Barrow to do 1 damage. Doesn't seem that interesting to me. I want to play it. I want to play it just so we can use the loot ability, since we got nothing else going on. Pretend we have a counter spell, use the loot ability, but the jig is up if they play something and we don't counter it. We're probably getting rid of Brine Barrow. It's not looking so good. I knew they were going to have Thoughtcast. They know we don't have Counterspell. Here comes our demise. Okay, Fanatical Offering. They know shields are down. They're going to draw 1,000 cards. My God. They're up to 5 cards in hand. We don't want to be losing the card advantage battle here, folks. Gaining life. Just going to yield to the end step. Ugh. Another familiar. Suppose they need to start attacking. They don't want to. Okay. Try to play a little faster as well, because this probably is going to game 3. We might have to concede soon. See what we draw. Okay, they're going to kill something. Galvanic Blast, okay. Not bad. Lots of one mines. Ninja of the Deep Hours. Pretty good. Tap this guy. Get him for 1. That was a lot of cards we just drew. I don't know if it's enough. If that happened a turn earlier, that would have been pretty sweet, but we've got a nice little Harrier Strix loop going here. Draw a card. Another of one mind, okay. We get to F6. Opponent could just wrath us, make us sad. Did I manifest that? I keep manifesting the wrong things. Of one mind, not looking so good anymore. Seat of the Synod. Opponent's going to start attacking. They've got a clock. We got a hard cast of one mind. 2 Spell Pierce. I think this is a concede. See what we draw one more time. Spell Pierce is a dead card at this point. So those should definitely be Hydroblasts in hindsight. Probably should have played the Harrier Strix in case we draw a Ninjutsuer. But I think I'm kind of losing hope on this one. Okay, let's try that again. Spell Pierce coming out, because they've got the full set of Hydroblasts or Pyroblasts. 1, 2, 3. Unable to Scream felt pretty mid there. Snap just doesn't seem that good. Let's try it like that. We'll bring the Spell Stutter back in. We've got more counter backup. Got a lot of counter spells. We just need to get a ninja down early and get attacking. And then we need to save the annuls and the counter spells for their creatures. All they have is Refurbished Familiar and Mirror Enforcer. We've also got to worry about the Breath Weapon. Gut Shot. Gut Shot could have been interesting against the Refurbished Familiar. Okay, we'll keep this. We have a Scry and an Annul. And we have, well, we don't have of one mind online. So let's hope we Scry into something. Scry into like Moon Circuit Hacker, hold up Annul would be cool. On the play is nice. Yep, we Scry, we find That goes to the bottom. That goes to the top, I suppose. Untap land. Galvanic Blast. Okay. We didn't have a ninja anyway. But that does hurt our spell stutter chances. We're going to hold up a Null and spell stutter. Maybe I should have played Harrier Strix. Why not? Send a message. So I guess we can hold up our stuff, end step, Brine Barrow plus can hold up a Null. We don't care about Ichor Wellspring. We'd rather be countering the sacrifice effects, probably. I don't know. Countering Ichor Wellspring denies them 2 cards. Countering a sacrifice effect denies them 2 cards. Just feels wrong to counter an Ichor Wellspring. Of course, a Null can counter Ichor Wellspring, and we cannot do that with the Null on the Black Fanatical Offering. So maybe I was supposed to counter that. I feel like we should save this for their creatures, though. The creatures are the only thing that slow us down. Brine Barrow. Of one mind. Not getting countered this time. They could try. Okay, we found a Hydroblast in a Moon Circuit Hacker. That's pretty sweet. Okay, we got our engine going. We can Moon Circuit hack. Switch this guy. Galvanic Blast. Guess we gotta Hydroblast that. Counter target spell. If it's red, it is. We would have liked to save that, but drawing a card, very important there. I guess we missed the land drop there. That's kind of a bummer. Even though we drew 3 cards. Fanatical Offering, yep. Here comes Refurbished Familiar or Mirror Enforcer. Okay, they're drawing all the cards now. Hunter's Blowgun, okay. Well, we get to draw more cards. You know how I like doing that. Hopefully find a land deck. Yep, we're gonna loot. We're gonna throw away. We really need to find a land. Intruder. We're gonna play that. I think we gotta take a risk here and dig for a land. We can still annul something if need be. We're gonna hold up Spell Stutter, Counterspell, Annul. So we want to counter creatures, because creatures they can equip. It's really what we want to counter. Counter creatures, keep the damage pumping. If they double creature, kind of in trouble. Blood Fountain, I don't care. They're playing all the things that they don't want us to counter first. Mirror Enforcer. Do we counter that? Blocks everything pretty well. Surely they have... Guess maybe I was supposed to discard something else, and yeah, am I more worried about Refurbished Familiar? We can figure out a way to... Ay, ay, ay. 2 Enforcers, huh? Yeah, there's no stopping that. Oh, they can give it reach, but there was no stopping that. Guess we could have just countered 1. Hydroblast, a little late. That has reach now. Yeah, now we're kind of at a stalemate, huh? I mean, in hindsight, I should have countered 1 of those. Now we got to deal with 2. Just really scared of a Refurbished Familiar. But the fact that they had 2 and they can equip it up no matter what. They discard a land to draw a card. I don't know. It's winnable, but I think we need to draw like Harrier Strix and bind the monster, or no, we took out all the Unable to Screams. Refurbished Familiar. We'll annul that. Because at least Refurbished Familiar is card advantage, so at least we're not like losing extra cards. Fanatical Offering. I think it's fine. They can draw cards. I think we just need to counter the key threats here. We need to draw more ninjas, basically. We can't loot with the Strix because we used the counterspell. That's nice. Fairy Miscreant occasionally pays off. Extra card for me. Fairy Seer. A little rough. I want to cast it, but then we don't have Hydroblast. Counterspell backup. Yeah, we need more ninjas, though. Well, we can counter something. We need more ninjas, because then our flyers can get in. We can ninjutsu them. We can return Harrier Strix and tap things. I don't think I want these. We've got lots of counter magic. Just need to find ninjas. I think that's our way out. Reckoner's Bargain. Drawn lots of cards. Not stopping them. Thought Cast, not stopping them. Ugh. Refurbished Familiar. We could spell Stutter, but there's a big blowout potential. What do they actually want to cast? Breath Weapon? What is this? Blood Fountain, okay. Okay, so they're going to get their familiars either way. I suppose I get rid of the Hydroblast since it's the least flexible. Yeah, I guess we got to worry about Breath Weapon now. Island. Not great. We might be able to start looting. Do I like main phase loot? I don't know. Start getting in some damage. Okay, they don't want to lose their refurbished familiar. I was worried they would block the Harrier Strix. I don't know about this choice of blocker. I guess they're reducing our fairy count for spell stutter, so that's something. So now we can counterspell plus Harrier Strix, which is fine. Never mind. Yeah, we gotta counter that, otherwise we're losing a card anyway, so might as well try to counter that. Hunter's Blowgun. Reckoner's Bargain. I don't know if we can beat this. We really needed to draw a ninja about 20 turns ago. Equipping. Grind game. There's a ninja, but it's a little late. Do we attack with everything? See what they do. Yep, that's fair. So we can do this. Pick this guy up. We can do this. Pick that guy up, I guess. Deal 5 damage. We're losing 2 creatures. Oh, they're gonna zap something. Ugh. We can protect him, but we gotta... We should have played the land first, I guess. I was hoping to have like extra loot fodder. Yeah, we could have played him too. Very miscreant, draw an extra card. Okay, annul, not bad. Well, this doesn't look great. Fanatical Offering. Does not look great. If we had played that extra land, we could have gotten 2 extra damage and drawn an extra card. They have a red elemental blast coming up. Ugh. This is an icky matchup, I fear. Our counters just are a little tough against their creatures. Spell stutter doesn't feel very good. I'm also not experienced with this matchup. I'm guaranteed I'm misplaying something here. Several things. Okay, opponents got their clock going. Let's just, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to save up a null. I want more like unblocked creatures for my ninja, I guess. If there's a chance we can squeeze out some extra damage. I'm not going to block though. Land. They got 6 cards. Surely we're cooked. I don't know if they have a breath weapon though, because they did not attack with the refurbished familiar. Okay. Not terrible, but not great. We're just dead next turn, right? Possibly. We block 2 things. We're so close to... Well, they have like red elemental blast, right? So no matter what we do... cooked. Turn Fairy Miscreant. 7 damage. They let it happen. Discard. I think we need to keep our creatures to block. There's all our ninjas. They're all coming in the bottom of the 9th here. Okay, well, let's hope for no Dragon's Breath. We do have a counterspell. Counterspell and Brine Barrow. Put us down to 1 life. I think they win because they just kill something. They counter that. And we can't counterspell. Oh. This game is closer than I thought, though. Of course, they probably have more answers in their hand. Yeah. But, damn, all of our ninjas came in at the end there. If we had them like a couple turns earlier, I think we could have finessed a win. But anyway, that was a cool match. Certainly, I feel like it was winnable. Something earlier in the game, I certainly messed up. But that's kind of how the Faeries Affinity match could go. So yeah, maybe I'm not galaxy brain enough or experienced enough with the deck, but it was fun anyway, and we're going to move it on to the next one. Round 2. Jeremy versus Gilberto. This hand is bizarre. It's got counter spells. It's got this deck. I feel like this deck draws a lot of hands that I have no idea if I'm supposed to keep. It's like it's got lands and stuff, but is it the right stuff, you know? Like we really want to draw a ninja. We can counter a couple things, which is cool. We're on the draw as well. Maybe Spell Pierce not as good on the draw. And then we draw a 1-lander, huh? But we've got Fairy Seer. And we're on the draw. Usually we can keep those. Fairy Seer, a godsend in these 1-land hands. I'm not going down to 5, that's for sure. Looks like we're against some kind of aggro deck, so we're going to have to cook up something real nice here. We need a land. We found a land and a counterspell. Counterspell's not bad. So next turn we land. Ugh, they're getting rid of our dude. It's okay. That's a-okay. That was our 1 fairy for of 1 mind, so that's kind of a bummer. But we're going to save Brine Barrow Intruder. Try to do something tricky with our block here. Opponent might use a burn spell. Yep, they're going to bolt that. Okay. They could have blown us out. I was going to cast both of them and double block this. And then they could have bolted me then. But now we get to get rid of their Voldaren Epicure at least. So that's something. We take 0 damage. And we gained 3 life by them using a bolt there on a Brine Barrow Intruder. Not too shabby. Now, do we use a Moon Circuit hacker? I think so, because if we find a land or a fairy, we can... If we find a land, we can hold up Counterspell. It's really what we want to find. We can also hold up the Brine Barrow Intruder. Yeah, that's definitely the right move. Okay, no land. That sucks, but we've got a Brine Barrow Intruder. Ooh, Burning Tree Emissary. Okay, opponent's going wide. Rally at the Hornburg. Okay, Brine Barrow still a bit helpful here. They decide not to attack. Definitely targeting Goblin Tomb Raider out of spite. Will I block? I think not. Brine Barrow can still block the soldiers. Unable to scream. Opponent's down to one card. So, what do we do? Yeah, them killing that Fairy Seer at the beginning was quite good because of the Of One Mind. We can't get out of this no land hole, so we really need to draw a card. We can unable to scream something. They can still block and prevent us from drawing. They can still kill our ninja. So is that worth? Let's see if they block both. They do. Okay. No card draw for us. So then if we unable to scream now, we're just... I could just cast a Moon Circuit Hacker. They've only got one card, so maybe I don't care about Counterspell. I just care about preventing their damage. I'm going to put the Unable to Scream on Burning Tree Emissary, because if they ever sack their blood token, then their Tomb Raider's losing its +1/+0. I don't know how I feel about Unable to Scream. It feels like I'm just creating a wall for myself every time. Percussionist, kind of a bummer. It's a good card for them to draw. They're down to 0 cards, but they're getting in for 3 every turn, and we're stuck on lands. Very sad. Galvanic Blast. And they got a blocker. We finally draw the land. But we attack and then they block. We've got 0 cards. I don't know, we might just fire off the Of One Mind. Okay. We can at least block the Clockwork Percussionist. They discard a mountain. What do they get? We're going to take another 2. Oh no, they don't attack. Okay. Spell Pierce is pretty bad. Spell Stutter is okay. Yeah, we're just going to have to get lucky with our counters, I guess. I want these, but I need lands, you know? We've already got 2 counters. I'm going to put those to the bottom. We need to hold up our counters. Such a bummer. If we weren't stuck on lands, this game would have been a piece of cake, I fear. They're not casting anything, huh? I could Spell Stutter, have an extra thing to switch out, but I'm gonna hold it up because as soon as we tap out, they're gonna hurt us. Snap is interesting. Draw a card. Galvanic Blast. It's so interesting that they... I guess, oh, Unable to Scream turns on their Goblin Tomb Raider. I don't know what I was on about. If they're using their 4 damage on this guy instead of our life, it's not terrible. I could snap it. I could Spell Stutter. If we Spell Stutter and then draw a land, we could still survive. If I snap it, we're back to square 0, then we need to play a card, then we need to... Yeah, I think we got a Spell Stutter. Hope to draw land. Spell Stutter is also a blocker if we need. We draw the land. So we have Spell Pierce up if things go awry. Or do I want a Fairy Seer? Have an extra blocker. We got 1 card in hand. It can't really get through our stuff. I don't think Spell Pierce is likely to see value, so let's set our stuff up. We're gonna have to counter a lot of stuff though for them to... I double block. Single block, and then we have Of One Mind active. And they could blow us out anyway if we double block. See what they get though. Bushwhacker. We know about that at least. It's counterable. Hopefully hit a land, we do. Now we can return Spell Stutter. Or we could leave Spell Stutter back and snap it. We need to counter everything, huh? That's gonna kill that. Guess we could have attacked with this as well. No, we need that to potentially block. And then they're just saving up until they have more than 1 burn spell in a turn, right? Okay, oh, they conceded, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess it's Hydroblast City, Blue Elemental Blast, maybe even Dispel. Do we care about Unable to Scream that much? Not too much. We could also go Bind the Monster, but that makes us take damage anyway, so don't think we're too interested in that. Snap feels kind of mid there with all their stuff. Spell Pierce, especially on the draw, not so good. Now that we have Dispel, and yeah, so I guess we could just bring in, just counter all the instants. Do we have a solution for their creatures? Unable to Scream was okay. We can counter their creatures with spell stutters and such. I guess Snap also slows down their creatures. Harrier's Trick slows down their creatures. We have to use Snap at instant speed. Let's try like that. There's probably a sideboard guide out there where Faeries Aficionado could be of great service. They're also going to bring in all of their Pyroblasts, so that's something to be mindful of. This hand on the draw. It's good if we draw land, but I don't think we're going to draw land without the... Yeah, this is better. Probably put back Miscreant. Opponent, what do they have? No Vault. Happy to see no Vault. Pass. Okay. Lots of counter spells. We need to find a ninja. That's the key with this deck. Find a ninja. Counter spells are great, but we need to be drawing cards and doing damage at the same time. Opponent wants to see if we have something to cast. We do. They might burn it. Okay, Red Elemental Blast. Sure. Had to do it to him anyway. Another Brinebarrow Intruder, not bad. Do we let them get in for the 1? And they concede. Double Brinebarrow Intruder is too strong. Confirmed. Okay. Well, I think our opponent was conceding a little prematurely in both of those games. I feel like they had a chance in the first one. I don't know what was in their hand, but red runs hot. They must have been running on pure rage fuel. So on to match 3. Round 3 on the play. Very nice. We'll keep this hand. It's a little odd, but we've got a ninja. So the question is, do we Brinebarrow Intruder on their end step for surprise factor? That's better if they don't have a creature or if they have an X1. Or do we Harrier Strix now, have a flyer, bank on the fact that they probably don't have a flyer, and then ninja? It's hard to say. I don't actually know what's correct. But I guess we'll play it a little cool here. Red, Goblin Tomb Raider. Okay, I think we chose the right start, because now we can negate this damage and still get our ninja down. And then we get our Brinebarrow back, which will be useful. Lots of red, folks. Lots of red online. Feels like half of what I play against is red. But red versus blue. A song as old as time. A tale as old as rhyme. Fairies versus burn. Little Disney flavor for all you Lorcana users out there. They're going to Chain Lightning our ninja. Boo. But still gained a card off of it, so that bodes well for us. We're going to take 3, but we gained 3 off of them having used their Chain Lightning on our creature, so not too unhappy. What to do, huh? What to do? We could Harrier Strix. Wish this had flash, man. That would be cool. We could Unable to Scream something. We could feign a counterspell. I feel like I want to save our Strixes. I'm not sure. Maybe we're supposed to get it down. Kessig Flame Breather. Oh, I guess that's what we want to use Unable to Scream against. Make it lose its ability. Opponent. It's going to run the Clockwork Percussionist into our Intruder. Or maybe they're going to burn it. We still get the ETB though, so that's nice. I'm not too unhappy if they burn it either. They probably don't burn it because they want the extra card anyway. What do they get? Lava Dart. Pretty good against the Intruder here. Do they want to use it? Yep. That's okay. Sad, but okay. I guess we probably should have played the Harrier last turn, so now we have Harrier. I guess they probably would have Lava Darted that instead. I think I have to disable this. And I'm going to play one. Drawing a little too many lands here, so that's not good. Bad position for this deck to be in. If you draw this many lands, like these could all be counter spells, they could be ninjas instead. We'd be in much better shape. So we're definitely going to be doing some looting pretty soon here. Because we're about to fall off. We've slowed our opponent down quite a bit, but we need to draw some action right now. A ninja would be great. Lava Dart on the Harrier Strix, okay. Maybe I should have played both. Ah, we definitely should have played both, okay. Guess we could have tapped the land, but they just cast something at instant speed. Bummer. Bummer. We get to loot no matter what. Discard the island, most likely. But we're taking too much damage here. Not looking good. We really wanted to win this game one. We just drew too many lands. Thermal Alchemist. Bummer. Let's loot. Another island. Flooding is not where we want to be. Bind the Monster is good against Thermal Alchemist. So we're going to attack first and see what we draw. Do we want to loot? I guess so. Yeah. No blocks. We ninjutsu. Draw land. We can bind this monster. And we can miscreant. Okay. Good turn for us. I think it might be a little too late. Opponent's a little choked on land is the only thing for them. Lava Dart. Okay, these spells are pretty good against their their pingers. But I think we're dead here. I think like any burn spell puts us down to 1, and then they have Lava Dart. Yep, I think we're dead. Unless there's some kind of weird red deck that doesn't always have Bolt in hand. Yeah, they got it. Okay, too many lands. We flooded out. Fair enough. Is Gut Shot any good? Not really. They have too many X2s. We're just on the Dispel Hydroblast, Blue Elemental Blast plan. Bind the Monster is basically only good against Thermal Alchemist. Otherwise, it's a free attack for whatever we tap down. I'm not so sure Snap is good. Spell Pierce on the draw. We don't want to mess with that. Unable to Scream was pretty good, actually, against their pingers. Brine Barrow Intruder is great. Miscreant is fine. Since they're pinging so many creatures, I guess I can go down an Of One Mind. Harrier Strix seems fine. We could go down a Miscreant. Go down and bind the monster. They might not even draw a Thermal Alchemist. Well, I just cursed us with a game where they draw 3 Thermal Alchemists. Try it like that. Red, red, red. If you play on Magic Online, you better dedicate a chunk of your sideboard to fighting against red. Either Red Madness or red this deck. We're getting some different variants though. There's the Pingers, there's the Rally at the Hornburg, and then there's the Madness, so there's some different flavors. Oh, that's right, we're on the play, not the draw. I still don't regret our decisions. Counterspell, Blue Elemental Blast, and lands. We'll take it. We need ninjas. But this could hold us over until then. These, of course, just kill their creatures, so that's nice, even if we miss the counter. We will lead on the Miscreant. See if they have the Vault plus Tomb Raider. They don't. Lava Dart, okay? That's okay. Play a Harrier Strix. Send a message. We can hold up a counterspell if something goes terribly wrong. Counter. We've got no more action, so want to counter this. Opponent's dedicating a lot of resources to killing our creatures, which is a good choice, assuming we have a ninja. Yeah, 2 Galvanic Blasts. Sure. Take it. Take it, take it, take it. Now, opponent and I probably have a whole lot of nothing. I'm gonna Of One Mind now. There's our ninja. So we want to find a fairy. We don't even want to use Elemental Blast on that. We probably use Elemental Blast on the Tomb Raider. Ugh. Not good. All their zapping of our creatures is starting to pay off, huh? We could have hard casted that, but I don't think that's where we want to be. I think we just kill this. Feels bad. But I want to keep us as healthy as possible, kill it as soon as possible. They only got 2 cards, so we've got a couple turns to rebuild here. In this case, do we cast the Ninja of the Deep Hours? They could zap it. Do we wait till we have counterspell backup / one more turn to draw something? Maybe. That's definitely counter material. Opponent's getting in for 1. They're down to 1 card. Not bad. They need card draw. We're hard casting at this point. We got a Hydroblast, not bad. Wait, turn off auto yields in case something weird happens. Galvanic Blast. Counter. They have another burn spell. I almost want to let this go through so they don't find another burn spell just for one turn. So we can rebuild here. Because if they find a bolt, it's pretty bad. Although they're using 2 cards for it, so maybe it's the right move. Well, we've got Spell Stutter. Do they want to block? They do. Slow us down. So now we just want to find a lot of counter spells and some proactive threats. Ugh, don't like that. Did not remember the Lava Dart there. Thermal Alchemist, okay. I think we take it. Because if we draw a Ninja, we want to be bouncing this Spell Stutter back. Brine Barrow is a good draw. Yeah! We finally manifested correctly. Fortunately, Thermal Alchemist blocks Ninja quite well, so we will not get in with that. Harrier Strix is great. Goblin Tomb Raider is annoying. But we can blow them out with Brine Barrow. They're drawing a lot of creatures, so their Thermal Alchemist is not very helpful. This is a pretty big blowout. We get this -2, -0. We're fighting for our life here, folks. We can block, we can block. It's pretty big for us. Now we're getting in for 3 per turn. They get to draw something, though. Or another Tomb Raider, okay. They're going to play it, so we're going to have to deal with that. We want to draw more ninjas, I guess, to bounce this Spell Stutter back. Not the worst. They keep, are they just forgetting to tap this every turn? I think they are. Do we get in for 1 or do we leave these 2 back to double block? Maybe so. Yeah, they just remembered. Uh-oh, honeymoon is over. They got a spell coming. Non-creature spell. Ren's Resolve, happy to counter that. For sure. We really want to just draw more ninjas and start bouncing the Spell Stutter. Then we can counter like almost everything they draw. Very Seer, sure. No, 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 no. This is better. We want to leave these 2 back to double block this. But we are shields down. Time's running out. That's what happens sometimes with Faeries, though. You just kind of draw the wrong half of your deck and you kind of do nothing. You really need that card draw with counter spells to be more proactive. Opponent discarded a land to their blood token. They found a spell, it looks like, so that's bad news for us. Could it be Ren's Resolve? It could be Burn, Chain Lightning, Lightning Bolt. Galvanic Blast is off. Lava Dart. Boo. Okay. It's a good target. They're going to zap our Fairy Seer. Okay. They had to sacrifice a land for that. Still can't get in with their Tomb Raider now that they don't have the blood token. Counterspell. We can't attack. What a dry game, huh? And we're almost dead now. Can't find another ninja. Opponent's play of overcommitting to zap our creatures in the beginning paid off, it seems. What could they have? What did they draw? Hydroblast, okay. We're at a stalemate here. I guess we kill this. I guess we should have killed that and attacked. Probably. What do you got? We don't have any way to gain life, so we're not in great shape here. We have a counterspell. We can start attacking with our ninja. We missed one ninja attack, so that's a big mistake. Probably hold that back. Opponent. Blocking. Do they have a lava dart? Because that's a bummer. If so, lava dart gets around counterspell. We'll feign another counterspell here. Too many lands, both of these games. Electrickery. Yep. I guess we'll protect our guy. But we're shields down to a double burn spell now. Which they always have, huh? Did they draw it? Awkward game for us. Awkward match. Seems like they don't have it. They played a land. Oh my god. Island. I think we gotta leave back the blocker in case they draw a hasty attacker. Ugh, that's not a counterspell. They probably want to draw a double burn spell. Unable to scream. Not exactly what we want to be doing. But we're drawing cards. Oh, Moon Circuit Hacker. We just need a counterspell. We need any kind of counter. We've got a deck full of them. Opponent, do they miss again? I'm so scared. Jeez. I'm getting so nervous. We get to draw 2 cards this time. Please, please, please. 1 counterspell. I think we could win if we draw at least 1. Oh, no. Oh, please. Please, no. Not like this. All islands. Just as we were turning the corner. Kessig Flame Breather. We can fight past that, but that's gonna make us lose 1 card draw. It's also not good. We'll flash in the intruder. Maybe I should have kept it back. Spell Stutter is a sight for sore eyes. We can only counter 1 mana spells. We go down to 1 life. This is so tense, I can't. We're down to 1 life, but he loses his ability. If we can draw 1 counter spell, or opponent blanks again, we might win. That's a bad block. I guess they want to keep their blocker. But now we get 2 shots at a counter spell. I should be drawing with this ninja first. Oh, please. I guess we're both... Oh, no, dude. Oh. No way they miss again. Oh, they play a land. Oh. Oh. Well, that definitely shaved 5 years off my life total, but I don't even know what to say. That felt dirty. I don't think either of us deserve to win that. I think both of us deserve to have our client crash on us. Yeah, unable to scream pretty good there. Well, okay. That was a pretty wonky starting hand, so we just want, okay, 2 lands, Ninja, and like 2 Fairy Seers or a Brine Barrow or something. That's all I want for Christmas. Song as old as time. Fairies versus burn. I need to lay down. I need to lay down after that. We could all use a little bit of midnight after that mess of a game. We cheated death. That match felt like Final Destination. What do you think, Midna? She wants out. Me too, Midna, me too. Get me out of this match. Now, but we have to consider the rage factor. Our opponent missed for about 5 or 6 draws there where they could have won. So now they're tilted. They're for sure tilted. Whereas we stabilized. There's no way they're editing their sideboard that long. I think they're trolling. They're not happy about that one. Doesn't take that long to submit your Pyroblasts again, buddy. Spell Pierce, Annul. Yeah, I feel fine about this. Snap is okay against the Thermal Alchemist, I suppose. Opponent's trolling. Okay, opponent plays first. It's our wish list. It's our wish list. It's coming true. Okay, this is good. This is a good starting hand. We're going to island. We're going to flash in the Brine Barrow. Even better if they play an attacker or something and we get value out of the ability. Oh, wait, no, we're on the play, so a little slower, huh? It's going to be tricky. See what they got. There's the Percussionist, okay. Sad. We're still gonna get the surprise Brine Barrow factor. I should be running 2 Humbling Elder, 2 Brine Barrow in case of an Echoing Truth or an Echoing Decay, but that's all we got. I didn't feel like ordering the Humbling Elders. Opponent's gonna attack. Sure, we'll throw the Brine Barrow out there. Pyroblast. Very cool. Happy to get that out of the way, although we would have loved our Brine Barrow to do something, of course. I guess now we just miscreant, see if they can deal with 2 creatures. If they have Lava Dart, that could be a good solution for them. Do they want to kill one? They're thinking about it. Okay, denies us a card, but they're also losing out on a Galvanic Blast. That preserves our life total. Ren's Resolve. Okay, shields down opponent. Are they looking for a land? They do have a land. They can play their Epicure. Tomb Raider, okay. It's a lot of damage. Unable to scream, not bad. We probably want to save it for one of their other creatures. I think we want to get in with Miscreant, Ninjutsu, and then play back the Miscreant and Of One Mind. Just get it all out there. Draw a card, draw lots of cards. Okay, no lands in all of that, so we need to hit our land drop for next turn. They play their Synth. Thermal Alchemist, that might be our Unable to Scream target. Yep, they play it. Question is, do I block here, or do I leave it for a ninja? Hard to say. I don't really like blocking, but we're taking too much damage from this Clockwork Percussionist for sure. We gotta put this here. That's their main damage output. Okay. See what they block. So maybe I Moon Circuit Hacker again to hope to hit another land drop. Hold up Counterspell. Dispel is nice. Discard, we got too many ninjas. 2 Dispels. Okay. Do we play Miscreant to block Tomb Raider, or do we hold up Dispel? I think we hold up Dispel. Dispel prevents 3 damage, potentially. We'll Dispel anything. Oh, Tomb Raider. No, they're having the creature draw. Oh my god. Bad. Yeah, we needed to hit our land drop there. They have the Mega Haste turn, huh? Down to 6. So what do we do? I could attack. We can block 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. I think we gotta block and hold up like double Dispel, unfortunately. Opponent's low on cards, so if we can just kill their creatures, it would be great. Ugh, Lava Dart. Yeah. I guess if they want to sack a mountain, they have to sack... They should have tapped the mountain for that so they could sack the tap mountain. Now they got to sack an untapped mountain. Double Dispel. Sure. They're down to one card. Of course, they're going to get something off the Clockwork Percussionist, it seems. Can we afford to take 2 damage? Can we afford to take 1 extra damage to have this guy to be able to ninja? Ninja plus counter would be good. Plus that gives him another look at a spell. I don't like this. We really need to draw land. Very unfortunate if we don't. Oh, Hydroblast, huh? Well, we got to do something proactive, right? We can't just sit here. So let's see if we can draw land. Having weird land, too much land, too little land. No! Shoot. Now we die to any burn spells. Now we die to double burn spell, that is. Oh, if we could hit our land drops, man. Ren's Resolve. Do we counter that? If we Hydroblast that, we deny them 2 looks at a card, and then they're tapped out. They can't have land plus another burn spell, so we go down to 2. But then we can hold up some counters. Not good. We gotta leave back blockers. Fairy Seers, nice. There they are. We want them both. So we could attack, they block, and then we'll die to something. So we gotta leave this guy back as a blocker, and then we have Spell Stutter for their burn spell. Ooh, this match is rough. Rough. They get 2 looks at burn spells, but gotta do it. Kessig Flame Breather and a mountain. So I guess we counter the Flame Breather. Because that's going to kill us pretty fast. And then hope they don't have burn spell. They do. Darn. So if we hadn't countered that, they burn us, we take 1, and then we have to draw into something that kills the Kessig, which we know we're drawing island. Yeah, so we die. What? Okay. It's okay. We cheated death the last round, so we were owed a defeat there. But that was a cool match anyway. That was very down to the wire. Things didn't quite come together in the right way, but on to the next one and pray for some non-red diversity, perhaps. Although it's not a bad matchup. Okay, match 4. We're going to Stamford. We're on the draw, it seems, and it's a good hand. On the draw with Fairy Seer, I think we can keep it. I think we should be able to find a land. We got essentially 4 looks at it. Opponent goes down to 6. Forest! It's not red. Okay. 1 look at a land failed. Fairy Seer. Opponents. Finding a forest. Oh no, please. Please. Not like this. Is this elves? If they're finding only green. Ooh, walls, okay. Walls combo, interesting. Found a land. Spell Pierce feels not that great. Right, they're just gonna be playing creatures. So should I just Ninja of the Deep Hours? No, I guess we Moon Circuit Hacker and then Fairy Seer again and set up our next draw. Because our ninjas are only going to get in once each with all their walls. So we need to keep playing our flyers. Brine Barrow seems like something we're going to be siding out. Do we want a second land? Maybe just to keep hitting our land drops. Because we've got counter spells. There's Axebane Guardian. They don't hit a land though. Them missing land drops is nice. We can start counting their creatures, maybe. Bind the Monster seems good. Yeah, we need to get up to 4 lands here. We're just going to keep cycling this Fairy Seer back and forth. Try to press the advantage while they're looking for lands. Of course, they have a ton of mana in their creatures. Let's cut them off all their colored stuff then. And then our ninja can start attacking. Not bad. Next turn we can hold up Counterspell plus Spell Pierce and play Fairy Seer. Lead the Stampede, okay. So they get to find more creatures, but not lands. They find Ceruli Caretaker, Overgrown Battlement, Drift of Phantasm, so they can transmute for a combo piece. Okay, but they still didn't find a land. It's good for us. And we can attack with our ninjas, so we're drawing at least 1 card, maybe 2. We can't do anything about the transmute. I forget what their finisher is. It's like Valakut Invoker, or there's like a Venture into the Dungeon card that they can use. I think we will Fairy Seer. Set up our draws. We don't want all that. Give us action, please. Yep. Draw Harrier Strix is not bad. Do we get rid of Spell Pierce? Spell Pierce is only good against like their Lead the Stampedes, but they just drew a bunch of creatures that we're going to be countering. Yeah, I think Spell Pierce is going to lose its effectiveness after this turn. Yeah, Yeah, we'll just hold up Spell Stutter and or Counter. We'll save the Harrier Strix to squeeze through some ninjas. Play Ceruli Caretaker. Do we counter this just to keep them off of colored mana? Because then they can't transmute. I think so. Queer and Ranger is tough. Okay, they have a lot of green. Winding Way. Okay, so Spell Pierce would have been good there. They choose land, I assume. They choose creature. Okay, so they get a Quirion Ranger, a third Plath Savant. Okay, so they can draw a million cards. They get an Axebane Guardian, which we want to counter to keep them off of colored mana. Okay, so our mission is keep them off of colored mana. Harrier Strix activated ability will be nice. Tap down their battlements. Get a big attack in. Brinebarrow Intruder, potentially. We probably just ninja the Deep Hours, our Spell Stutter. Ugh, that's annoying. Well, they can do that. Missing a land drop, though. If we had another land, if we were confident we can get a land, we could switch this guy out. Well, we're still gonna do this. Oops, undo. Oh yeah, okay, yep. Return this. Ninjutsu. We could have switched this guy out and switched that guy with the Spell Stutter, but then we're potentially going down to one land. I think it's okay. We don't mind discarding Brinebarrow anyway. Again, we did this in the wrong order. Moon Circuit Hacker. Okay, we got Counterspell. Opponent can make a lot of green mana, but they cannot make any other colored mana. Do we care about that? I think we'd rather counter the Axebane, which we have to use Counterspell for, not Spell Stutter, because we've only got one fairy. Okay, so they can make a lot of green. If they have another Axebane, they can do that. Shield Wall Sentinel. Okay, so they can find something else. It can trade with our Moon Circuit Hacker, which is a bummer. I think we want to just attack at this point. They find Axebane Guardian. Very cool. And they're going to play it now while we're tapped out. They got no lands. Okay, so they got their Axebane. Sure. Could we die here? Maybe. I could have flown in the Spell Stutter at the end step there. No, I was tapped out. Okay. Well, we're close, but I think they're also close to going off. Keep drawing cards. They lose Aquarian. We did this in the right order, although we don't have to discard this turn. We'd like to find a land, we do. So what do? We can't of one mind because we don't have non-fairies out. Scry. Moon Circuit Hacker, Fairy Seer. More hackers are not bad. Harrier Strix, not bad. More hackers means more damage. We can only Fairy Seer X2 though. Is that worth it to us, or do we... I feel like all their finishers are bigger. Yeah, I think we just draw now. All right, I don't know. Can they combo off? Let's see. Feels like it would be hard, but I'm also a little unfamiliar with this deck. They can find anything they want. They have a lot of mana. They only have one Quirion Ranger, so they can... A Secret Door. Do they have it? They can venture into the dungeon. They can transmute, okay. Maybe they have it. Freed from the real. I think they have it now, huh? Now they can make infinite mana, they can venture into the dungeon 1,000 times and win. Let me just make sure. But yeah, I think they got it. Oh, we're so close. It's really hard for us to attack through their stuff. It really slows us down. We had them on the ropes, but now they can just make infinite mana, venture into the dungeon infinite times. Okay, we've seen enough. We've seen enough. We were about one turn short there. A null is interesting. A null counter is freed from the real, which seems pretty essential. We don't care about Hydroblast. We don't care about Dispel. Spell Pierce, it's okay on the play. We probably more so want Bind the Monsters. Just take out their creatures. Brinebarrow Intruder feels pretty bad. So I guess we take a null to take out their counter spell, their counter pieces. We could keep in Brinebarrow just as a creature. We could keep in a Spell Pierce on the play to mess with their Winding Ways and their Lead the Stampedes. Everything else seems fine. We're gonna try it like that. Okay, we can do this. I think we can do this. A little bit of a slow hand attack-wise. We have a lot of disruption. Spell Pierce, not very good on turn one, but of course they're gonna play. They've already got colored mana. We're probably just gonna flash in the Spell Stutter if we need to. This might disrupt them from playing an Overgrown Battlement. I'd rather counter a Quirion Ranger if that's what they have, but if they were relying on that, yeah, they have Quirion Ranger, okay. Okay, fair enough. So we could snap this try to draw a land from the Moon Circuit Hacker and then hold up Spell Stutter for Quirion. I was trying to disrupt them playing an Overgrown Battlement, but I gambled wrong. So now we're in a pickle. I don't know. This could be premature. If we draw a land, it's good, but that's a big if. If we don't draw land, at least we can use one of these. They have some counter magic? Dispel? They have Dispel that they sided in. I want to keep them off colored mana. Yeah, this is seems to be a big puzzler for them. Okay, they have a Hexproof. Interesting. Okay, well that ruins our turn, huh? Was not expecting that, I'll be honest. We're kind of getting blown out here. We're making... I think we're making like... Oh, and it has reach. Oh my god, we're crashing out. Well, up until that point, we were making reasonable decisions. But now we probably just lose. Oh my god, they untapped it with Quirion Ranger. Oh, well, opponent definitely knows how their stuff works. Sorry about the punt, everyone. Major misplay. Although we got blown out pretty bad by the... we would have drawn the land too. God, that would have been so good. So good, so good. I'm going to keep this guy tapped, cut them off colored. Well, Quirion kind of gets around this, doesn't it? Oh, this is not my match today, you guys. We've got Spell Pierce for the Winding Way, but they can get around it by returning this. The one of Spell Pierce I left in, not very good. Yeah, I think we blew this one for sure. This feels like a tough matchup, though, to be fair. We have a hard time interacting with their stuff. They have so much mana. Very creature-based. Spell Stutter is not quite as strong. Lead the Stampede. They can... I don't think we're going to get a better moment to use this. I could just leave it as discard fodder, but I don't know. They got to go down a land. Sure. Yeah, this is not how you play this matchup. This is a cautionary. I wanted to create a cautionary tale for you folks. How not to fight. Yeah, they have Scattershot Archer. Yeah, post sideboard, this seems tough for us. Each creature with flying, we're basically dead. We'll get the hacker down. Oh my god, it has... Yeah, we're done. There's no way out of that. That felt like I did mess up, but that felt like a really bad, ugly matchup. Well, let's see if we can go 2-3. Okay. Thanks for bearing with me. That last match was a little rough. I guess the lesson is counter Quirion Ranger. I should have let the Llanowar Elves go. Nothing is a threat except for Quirion Ranger and maybe some of the Axebanes. But yeah, okay, lesson learned. As long as we learn something. This hand feels pretty crummy. It's okay if we draw land, but we don't usually do that around here. This hand also sucks, but I don't want to go to 5. And we've got Spell Pierce, Spell Stutter for some action. Ugh. I don't know. I'm not good with making the best of these wonky hands with fairies, I suppose. 2 Spell Stutters, not bad. We got Spell Pierce, depending on what opponent does. This deck... What is this deck? Is this like some kind of combo deck? Goblin combo or something? Ichor Wellspring, sure. We'll counter that. Just to get some value out of Spell Pierce. Finally, some value out of Spell Pierce. We really want a 1-drop fairy there. Opponent's not doing a lot. Moon Circuit Hacker. Okay, so we're going to hold up double Spell Stutter, and if nothing happens, we can flash in Spell Stutter and get ready to Moon Circuit Hacker. See what they do. Resolves. Opponent. Does it happen? Okay. So what do they got going on if they don't have removal? We're drawing some weird stuff though. Fanatical Offering, sacrificing a land. Maybe they're just flooding out. Is it right to deny this with double Spell Stutter? If they're really doing nothing for this many turns, maybe this is a huge mistake. But they don't seem to have anything to blow me out. We've also got Snap back up to reuse our Spell Stutters. Okay, Fanatical Offering, sure. Fanatical Offering, lots of Fanatical Offerings. Okay, opponent's filled back up to 7 cards. But we got a clock. We got a Snap Spell Stutter to counter a 2-drop. See what we draw here. Probably discarding Island. Yep. Another land heavy draw. Not happy to see that. But you gotta do what you gotta do, huh? Yep. Goblin Matron. Okay. Yep. So they're just doing the Goblin combo. They find... Skirk Prospector or another Goblin Matron. Okay. Oddly, we can't do anything about that. So, do we save the Snap to blow out their Persistent Goblin? 2 snaps. So by snapping the Moon Circuit Hacker, we're essentially snapping a Spell Stutter. Untap, untap, and then we can, so that's what we wanted to do with the spell stutter potentially anyway. And then we get to draw a card, we don't have to discard. Spell Pierce might find some use, I don't know. We have Snap, Spell Stutter. We have some tricks, but we drew a little too many lands here. We should have like 1 or 2 more pieces of action in an ideal world. Okay. Opponent is assembly workering their Goblin Matrons. I can't say I've seen this line before. What is it, Squadron Hawk? Goblin Squadron Hawk? But I guess it's a lot of blockers for them. Our Moon Circuit Hacker can't get in. I feel like we need to save this snap. It's not worth using just to draw a card. Fairy Seer will give us a look. It also increases our spell stutter range. Guess we just attack and try to disrupt. Next turn we know we're getting another ninja. We'd like to get a spell stutter off this turn. Fanatical Offering. Do we care about this at this point? I think I'd rather counter like First Day of Class or a combo piece. We have Spell Pierce if they go for another one. Nice. Spell Pierce finds some value. Next turn is Ninja time. I don't know if they're just having a weird draw. This does feel like a weird draw for both of us. Whoa! Stormshriek Feral, huh? Okay. Cool. We can unable to scream that. I did see this deck was running Stormshriek Feral. I guess it's an extra threat. If they can't get their combo together, they can do something like this. It's pretty good against us. We have a couple answers, luckily. Yep, we'll take 2. Now that they have a blocker, they're getting in. Why do they, I don't know why they search for all the Goblin Matrons. Does that mean they just need First Day of Class, they have the other combo pieces in their hand? They have the Prospector, they have the other thing, and they're just holding back. And I guess we unable to scream. Do we bring back Spell Stutter with the ninja? I guess so, because that counters First Day of Class as long as the Fairy Seer is out. We want to draw just hard counterspell at this point too. Brine Barrow Intruder, interesting. Maybe we can push through a ninja or something. At least attack more confidently. Awkward game. Duress. I guess we snap Moon Circuit Hacker now. Just so they don't get any value. Okay, so they run Duress, so we got to be careful of that with our hard counter spells. Are they going to go for it? They know exactly our hand. There's the other Goblin Matron. What are they going to search for? I guess we could have snapped this one. The 2 toughness is better. It doesn't die to anything. Then we have Brine Barrow to protect it. They need to like triple block it. Which they probably will do. What do they find? Bizarre game, but I feel like we are running out of time. We need to find some more counter action. Dark Dweller Oracle. Okay, seems like something we probably need to counter. If they're only attacking with 2, then I'm going to save the Brine Barrow Intruder to save my Ninja. I'll just take the 2. It's a combo deck. I'm not really scared of my life total. It's probably all or nothing. Harrier Strix, not bad. Actually, that's really good. The looting will be nice. We can tap down the Matron. Force them into a worse blocking situation for our Ninja. We probably won't draw off this one, but we'll draw off of this one. Yep. Okay, so no need to Brine Barrow, which is fine. Need to keep our land total up. Chill, opponent, chill. Viscerator's Insight. What do they sacrifice? I didn't see. It was like a token. A plant token. Okay. They get their Insight. We could have countered it. But I think we just want to counter combo pieces here. Bind the Monster doesn't do that much for us. Bottom, top. Okay, now we got 2 counter spells. We can loot with Harrier Strix. We got another Ninja on the way. Bind the Monster can tap something down and they won't be expecting it. Skirk Prospector is a big combo piece for them. Do we let it resolve? Or do we just counter like the first day of class? Because they can unearth any of the creatures. Dark Dweller Oracle. They can find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. They have 4 looks at a second first day of class and they could double cast, but then we have 2 counter spells. I don't know. I keep playing against these weird combo decks, which should be a good matchup, but I feel like I don't know the matchup very well, so I'm prone to mistakes here. They're giving us some juicy targets, though. They're going to sack a bunch of stuff. They find Great Furnace, so I get to play a land, perhaps. If they want. They find Duress. Sure. They could take Bind the Monster. We don't really hinge our victory on that. Let me look up first day of class. Just so I remind myself. It's an instant. Okay, so they can do that on our end step if we're not careful. So do I loot with this or no? don't think they can counter it. I don't think they can use their persistent goblin at instant speed. Brine Barrow seems... Rebind the monster. Okay. Well, guess what? We're attacking. With the whole gang. We got Brine Barrow Trickery. We've got Ninja of the Deep Hours. They know about it. Who do we save? Guess this guy. Since he has bigger toughness. Oh, I forgot to flash in my ninjas. Ah, messing up my clicks, man. Darn it. Well, see if we can counter first day of class. Darn it. Missed on one card draw there. But I guess trade-off, we get Fairy Miscreant and can hold up both Spell Stutter sprites. So we have one more untapped creature. And our Spell Stutter hits one mana higher. The danger, if I counter a creature, the danger is they have Unearth, usually. So if they play their Persistent Goblin, whatever that guy's called, counter it, then they Unearth it, we could be in trouble. So I want to focus on countering the first day of class. Yeah, Putrid Goblin... I just want to counter first day of class. I think that's the key to everything. Do they have 3 first day of classes that they can find? I don't think so. Here it comes. So they can get their Putrid Goblin back infinitely. They can make infinite mana and dig through their deck. If first day of class resolves. I feel like they have an Unearth, so that's why they led with the Putrid Goblin. Trying to find a way out. We have not found a single hard counterspell this game, although it would have been Duressed Away, potentially. I like their picture. Little froggy. Yep. They find first day of class. I'm scared. There was also an argument for flashing in spell stutters and then trying to do the extra 3 damage, but they did have more blockers they could have used. So they would have just blocked more things. They're trying to figure out how to cast first day of class. Yep, there's the Unearth. Just as I suspected. Do they have 3 first day of classes? That's what we want to counter. Maybe they do. Oh my god, they do. Darn, we needed one more counterspell. Boo. Oh, man. This Goblin counter deck is good. Feels like... I always have... There's a guy that plays this at my local game store. Feels like I always have like one or two answers and then they fight through it. So they have infinite mana and infinite card draws, and then they can find their thing, right? Do I want to let them play it out just so we can see it and speed it up? Okay, that's enough. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. Well, that's not BM, folks. That was a cool game, and our opponent has lots of time. I'm not trying to run out of time. I just wanted to demonstrate the combo for everyone, and I wanted to see what their finisher was. Okay, so if that's the case, what do we want? We definitely want all the red counter spells. Do we want Dispel? Dispel counters first day of class, but not much else. I feel like the Unable to Screams are not that good. It was good against their dragon, but I'm probably not casting their dragon too often. Snap seems like okay. Disruption. Spell Pierce on the play. Spell Pierce is okay. But I feel like it runs out of gas pretty fast. We'll just bring in a Dispel instead of a Spell Pierce. Alright. Let's try it. This video is going to be called Mono Blue Fae loses to combo decks over and over. Do we keep this? Probably on 6. I don't know. Maybe my keeps aren't good. Someone educate me in the comments. But on 6, I don't really want to go lower than 6. This is good if we find any fairy. We can of one mind. Off of the Brine Barrow, we can be holding up Hydroblast, Counterspell. Ay, folks. 3 first days of class. They did it. I can't be mad. I manifested it. I said that's what they needed to find. And they did it. Brine Barrow's not that good. Okay, I'm glad we flashed that in. Because now we can Miscreant, of one mind, and then get in there. Okay, they got their Goblin down. It's resistant to my Hydroblasts, that's for sure. We're going to get a Moon Circuit Hacker attack in, it appears. We will draw. Do we play a Miscreant? We have 2 Hydroblasts. I doubt that they're playing like double spell that we need to counter off of 3 mana. I don't think they can combo this turn. Let's just get rid of that. They need to find lands, it looks like. Interesting. Okay. Let's Fairy Seer. Fix the top of our deck. Do they want to trade? They do. I think it's okay. It slows down their combo if they already have the -1/-1 counter. They need a... I guess this represents 2 draws and they're looking for lands, so maybe get rid of it. Maybe I should have just kept it for the combo. I don't know. But now we can attack with everything. We can Moon Circuit Hacker. We can now Fairy Seer every turn. Draw a card. Spell Sputter. That's what I'm doing. Spell Stutter is nice. Alright, we'll draw Spell Stutter into Hydroblast. Unearth. So this is bad if they drew land plus they have a first day of class in hand. But I want to get our Spell Stutter down, knowing that they're choking. Okay, sure, they can do that. They get their Oracle back. It's a good blocker. We can just kill it. Don't really want to trade my Moon Circuit Hacker for this. We know we have another Hydroblast coming up. What do they got? Makeshift Munitions. That is a combo piece. Guess since we know Hydroblast is coming up, we'll take it. And at this point, I think we're just gonna attack with the gang. Not quite a 2-turn clock. We've got Hydroblast to fight against first day of class. They could unearth the Putrid Goblin. If they draw land, unearth, first day of class, Putrid Goblin, Pachuca Bog, I don't really care. Thank God we're not playing one of those dusty graveyard decks. Duress. No, Duress. Duress. We can't target anything with this, huh? It's about sending a message, isn't it? Counter target spell if it's red. It's not. See, this is why you play Hydroblast. Wait a second. Okay, they're destroying that. This is why you play Hydroblast over Blue Elemental Blast. You can still target other colored spells just to send a message. All right, we're on a 2-turn clock here, but we are shields down. Not good. Draw land. Not good. We might have prematurely used something. Ichor Wellspring. Do they have land plus first day? I don't think they can. I think they still need something big here. They need to kill 2 of our creatures. Yeah, okay, we did it. Did it. Oh, I feel like Gut Shot is good here. Because we can instant speed zap their guy comes back, and then when the first day of class persist trigger is on it, we can kill it. I think that's how it works. Is that better than Snap? Probably. Yeah, let's try Gut Shot. It also takes out a lot of other creatures. So that should have been in. Okay. We need to find a ninja, but we have counter magic. See if we can make something happen. Final battle, final battle. Against our froggy friend. I'm a little bit sick today, so all of my mistakes in this video, it's because I'm delirious. I'm in a fever state. Okay, turn 1, no play. Gut Shot, there we go. Add additional insurance. Play Fairy Seer. Do they have the Hydroblast or the Pyroblast? They don't. We don't want either of these. Find something else. We want a ninja. 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 Cast into the fire. Okay. Sure. It's low value, though. If they had waited a turn, they could have gotten a double whammy. There's Fairy Miscreant. We could flash in Brine Barrow if we want. Shield down. Okay. There's a ninja. We gotta go shields down, but we have Gut Shot. I think it's worth. They've only got 2 cards in hand. Okay, they're going for the Fanatical Offering while we're shields down. But they had to get rid of a land, so that's still in trouble. We get to draw a card. Another Miscreant. Okay, so we'll play the Miscreant. Hopefully Gut Shot holds us together. There's Putrid Goblin. Sure. Dark Creature Explores. Boo. They have a Pyroblast coming next. So Brine Barrow helps us. Brine Barrow helps us survive this attack, but then who cares? Because this doesn't die anymore. So if we can't trade with it, I don't really care, and I just want to Fairy Seer and figure out what I'm drawing next. Leave this guy back. Bottom, and then we'll keep another ninja. It's a nice blocker for our opponent. Rakdos Carnarium, okay, they're getting their lands. We got a clock. We got a clock and a proactive game plan, though. Ninjutsu. They do have a Pyroblast. So there it is. Do we counter that? I don't think so. If we counter that, we draw more cards, but then we're shields down. Although we have Gut Shot. They're so low. I think we can draw into another counter. They're never going to expect the Gut Shot. Let's see. We have so many counters we could draw into. I guess we have one mind. Fill her up. Okay. Does the opponent have it? They need a sack. They need Skirk Prospector plus first day of class plus some like an unearth to get through the gut shot. Is this Goblin Matron? Yep. Okay. What do they find? Skirk Prospector. They play the Prospector. They're out of cards. Okay. Be very careful, Jeremy. Do I have a chance to respond to this? Or do I gut shot this guy now? Oh gosh. Do I have a chance to respond? Uh-huh. Whew. Oh, weren't expecting that, were ya? Do they have an unearth? That's a shot to the gut. And they don't have blockers anymore. We did it! Oh! Wow. Well, that was frightening. But gut shot was the right call, and I should have had it in there game 2. Ooh, okay, well, that was cool. That was cool. Not the most amazing showing by Jeremy with Mono Blue Fae. I feel like this is copied from the recent 5.0 lists. I feel like the spell pierces. I feel like a little too many spell pierces. Unable to scream was a little awkward sometimes. I can see why people are playing them. Yeah, we had a couple of dicey matches against the red decks that were winnable, but we didn't quite get there. That Walls combo deck, forget that ever happened. That was the Walls combo match. We crashed out on that one. Other than that, it's a fun deck. It's a good deck. It requires some skill. I think you really need to know your matchups, know what you're countering. So that definitely showed. But it's an awesome deck if you love ninjas and fairies. Who doesn't? And yeah, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and then we'll see what I end up playing next. Thank you, everyone.